5 top secrets to financial freedom. Who am I? I am someone who has built a six-figure business while traveling the world, visiting over 55 countries, meeting my soulmate, and just living a freedom lifestyle full of joy, pleasure. I did that just by myself with the tiniest audience and also no other support, no VA, no nothing, no ads. And I will be sharing with you my top 5 secrets. And I really sat with this to deliver the most epic transmission, transformation, and information for you. I've also been invited to speak on stages all over the world. And that was truly my dream when I first started my business. I did it because I wanted to be invited to facilitate at festivals all over the world. And here we are. So let's talk about the 5 top secrets to financial success. This might be of surprise. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are your biggest takeaways? What ahas? What is are you? So number one is environment. So environment is everything, and I've really have learned that. You may have heard this saying that you are the average of the 5 people that you are surrounded by. And it's really true because look, if you grew up in an environment where no one went to university, for example, then you're most likely probably not going to go. It's not something that is seen as an important thing in the community, right? If your whole family are like top PhD, they value that so much, you're probably going to end up going, right? Because it's just your family shifts a lot, but it's also the people you're hanging out with. And I see that all the time, especially in the different demographics, what people value is important in the different financial brackets. And also the information gets talked about, right? The lower financial brackets, you're not educated on how to handle money. You're given a credit card and then you are just sucked into debt. And then there is the shame, guilt, all the emotions attached to that. Whereas if you're in a higher financial bracket, most likely your parents have financial literacy and they have put a some kind of savings account for you, taught you how to save, how to invest, how to spend. If you have toxic examples of how to spend, right? Or like, for example, if your parents are like, you have to work hard and play little, and just focus on working, compared to if your parents or your environment, I'll tell a little bit about how it doesn't have to be your family, but they're entrepreneurs and you've always seen them do crazy things, and then you're more likely to do that, right? You're more likely to step outside the box, especially if there's encouragement, right? So for me, I was traveling the world, right? And I was visiting countries and meeting people that had the freedom lifestyle. I was like, they were creating online courses, they were lawyers for Nike, they were doing crazy things that I wasn't seeing in tiny little bumfuck Perth. Honestly, I'm sorry, but in my environment, I mean, I was so sheltered in our western suburbs area of Perth. I didn't even see any foreigners. Like, I only saw people, white people from England and South Africa. Like, I never even knew that there were people from other countries. Yeah, as I was going to school and high school, right? As I got like university, there was like Chinese and little Argentinian and all this stuff. Like, it just spread, right? But I just want to say, like, your environment is so impactful, right? Like, I was the weird Russian kid that brought like sandwiches with ham and freaking like pickles, to lunch. Everyone always had peanut butter jelly, disgusting things. My grandma would make me peanut butter with um like this caramel spread to make it tastier. Like, I was the weird kid, right? So I always didn't feel like I belonged, and that helped me a lot because we all struggle with belonging. But I was like, I clearly don't belong. Like, I clearly am from another planet. And that helped me a lot because it never blocked me. And then as I got older and older, I was like, whoa, everyone feels like they don't belong, but they don't have an excuse. So it really impacts them. All right. So I'm lucky that I went traveling because I started to plop myself into different environments. And now I put myself in different masterminds, different business masterminds. I'm around people that are entrepreneurial, that have that high value of freedom and family, just like me, right? It's not like working yourself to death. I listen to experts in different leading industries that talk about like working for someone else will never get you ahead of the game, right? It's the entrepreneurial spirit. So, two. So, first secret is environment. Second secret is understanding money is energy and healing your money trauma. So, this is took me a while because I didn't know, and my family didn't know, and we come from poverty and we come from famine. So, I have this deep, deep poverty in my epigenetics, and I just have such tendency to lean into scarcity. Even when I have abundance, I'm just like, oh, I'm scared it's gonna go away. And if you see, like, doesn't matter how much money you earn, if you haven't done this work, you will be emotionally unregulated with money, right? So you'll either push it away. So a lot of these people, like, they live in debt. Yeah, they have a lot of debt. They live off debt and they invest and they want to be in this prestige and drive these luxury cars, but they don't actually have the money to back it up, right? So it's important that you heal the trauma so you get to enjoy it, because money is just energy and understanding that is here to amplify everything and anything. And if you say yes to money, then you can actually use it towards your mission and your purpose to amplify your vision in the world, to make it a better place, right? Rather than hoarding it, yeah, or pushing it away. Three, education. And a lot of the time, I don't know if people talk about this, it's kind of obvious, right? But becoming an expert, a person that people turn to, yeah, they know like you are that. And I love being an expert who walks the talk. So I love embodiment. So it's not just like I'm telling you this thing of like, I have a lived experience, and now I've worked with my clients who have a lived experience. So my framework works, right? And people come to me because they know this is what they want. They want a freedom lifestyle. They want to make money from their mission, vision, and purpose. They want to feel alive. They want to feel inspired. They want to feel fulfilled. They want vitality and energy. They want love. They want to enjoy dating or have a really juicy long-term relationship, right? So you want to become a master at something. And so either you're going to then become the educator and educate people and train people and make money from that, or you're going to write a book, or you're going to be an inspirational speaker, or you're going to create a product that is missing in the, filling the gap, or you're going to work with someone else. And the thing is, you can really take all the knowledge into being the best employee and employer. This is a different conversation, but be the best employee, because I'm now hiring team and I'm like, oh my God, people have such unreliable work ethic. And there's actual books and trainings on how to be a good person. And then you just climb the social ladder or corporate ladder. If you're reliable, if you're driven, if you're ambitious, because you need to stand out, just like in entrepreneurship, you need to stand out in the workplace. So if you educate yourself, like for example, if you're like being above, like staying with the trends of like the AI or social media or videography or whatever's popping right now, right? Like in your industry, how can you have the upper hand? I really like the 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, where he talks about outsourcing, like not even having to work the job, like outsourcing it. And yeah, there's just so many ways, there's so much you can do, right? But the main thing is education. Educate yourself around money, educate yourself around mindset, educate yourself around whatever industry you're in, and become the leader, or at least like the top reliable person, right? Build community, build a movement, build that trust, give lots of value, and ta-da. Okay, 4, goals, goals, and then 10x them. Why is it important? Because wherever focus goes, energy flows. No intention is the intention. You need to have goals. If you don't have goals, then you're just like aimlessly, your energy is just going anywhere and everywhere. Like you're taking action, but why? What for? So when you have goals, then you can see like, is this important for me to take now? Is it worth it? Is it getting me closer to where I need to be? And if it's not, don't do it. So many people just busy themselves because they have this collapse that productivity equals worthiness and deservingness, but it doesn't. It's like you don't need to just do. You actually need to do things intentionally. And goals are really important. So you want to 10x them because it's all about identity, right? Actually, if you read Atomic Habits or any of those books, Tiny Habits, it's all about identity. You're taking on a new identity. This is how you become that new version for yourself. So my goal was to make $1 million in my business this year, but now we're gonna open it to in my business next year. And the thing is, like now I still have this goal, right? It was crazy and I hadn't hit it. But the thing is, I've put in so many systems that are supporting me that is going to make it easier. So it's good to 10x the goal because like I hit over 100K. Yeah. So I've 10x the goal. I reached my little goal. But if I reach my little goal, maybe I wouldn't put the systems in because it's the identity. So now I'm in this identity of a millionaire. How does she dress? How does she behave? What does she do? Like, probably wouldn't be driving my Tesla if I wasn't in my millionaire identity, right? It wouldn't have like the money wouldn't have come and I wouldn't been able to invest in that, right? And also like sometimes something happens and I want to obsess and spiral. And then I'm like, how would my millionaire identity deal with this? And she's just like, Vince, what this bullshit, focus on the big vision. And then I do. And it's like, whoa, right? So the other thing I want to talk about why goals are important to be 10x. Like goals are so important. Have goals. If you don't have goals, your energy is just going to be all over the shop. You have no direction. Goals are great for direction and for the subconscious as well. Sometimes you find they just work out. The other thing is there's different levels, right? So if you want to be the best employee, then that's one identity. If you want to be the employer, that's the next identity. And there's different identities for different financial brackets of entrepreneurship, of like where you're working as well, like compared to a manager, if you're like the checkout chick. So when you 10x, you skip steps. Like for me, I thought I had to become a multimillionaire to start building my retreat centers all over the world. I was at this seminar that showed me, like, oh no, the next bracket actually is the bracket where you look for investors. So, oh, I don't need to hit multi-millions. I actually now need to create a pitch. I actually have to get very clear on what is my goal, what is my desire, and what do I need investors, and how am I going to make the returns? And then I can create anything. I don't need my own money. I can use other people's. And that's what happens a lot of the time. And we don't even get told that information, right? So it's like you can create anything now, actually, if you have the right pitch. So this is why it's important to 10x, because then you start looking at the goal with a different vision and start skipping these little actions, because the identities, otherwise you're like becoming this identity and then you have to shift the identity and then you have to become this identity and then you have to shift and then become that identity, and it's all different, it's all work, and you can cut that out and quantum leap. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. And finally, divine inspired action. So this is something I already kind of started talking about, but it's not the action for the busyness, for the sake of being busy, for doing, for being productive, from saying like, oh, I've been working for hours, or like, I don't want to deal with my relationship, so I'm just going to bury myself in here, or I just want to do busy because I don't want to deal with my emotions and I want to numb myself with work. It's not about that. It's actually about divine inspired action. It's having that intuitive connection. So then you are taking intentional action. So then it becomes 20-80 rather than 80-20. 20 effort, 80 reward, rather than what the whole society, what the whole humanity is doing is they're efforting 80 for 20% reward, right? And this is how we do that, is through tapping into our superhuman abilities, where we're using energetics, where we're using our like intuition, telepathy, like all these like superhuman abilities that we have and we have numbed or ignored or repressed. So using them, and this is something that not many people talk about, of course not, because they don't run a mystery school where they teach people how to do that. This is the secret sauce. And again, it takes in the environment. So this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you're like, whoa, this is amazing, but where do I even start? I actually have a mastermind starting, and you can either DM us, or there will be a link that with the information for it, where we talk all, where we don't just talk about it, not where you get education, but you actually have lived experience. You actually get put into an environment that supports you around healers, change makers, thought leaders, and entrepreneurs that are popping, that are ripe. They're just like ready to birth their thing into the world and make money, heal their relationship with money, get the right education around mindset and around like their whatever the hell they want to create. And then you tap into their superhuman abilities to find the pioneers in the industries that they want to be in, doing goals and 10xing the goals and tapping into your goals through magical ways. So we're going to be doing all of that, plus so much more around marketing, visibility, sales, blah, di, da, di, da, all the magical things combined with magic, mysticism, embodiment, breath work, pleasure. So if you want to know more, please reach out. Would love to speak to you. But I hope this video was helpful and has given you some food for thought, some ideas of where to begin. And look at these 5 areas and like, what is your environment? Look at that. What is your understanding of money? Look at that. What is your education? What are your goals? What is your connection with the divine? And see which areas are lacking and start focusing there. And again, if you need support, I have courses on all the themes. So you can just email us and say, hey, I want to unlock my intuition. We'll send you a course. Hey, I want to heal my relationship with money. We'll send you the course. Or I want to go join the mastermind. I'm ready to take my life to the next level and become financially free and build my 6-figure plus, 6-figure, 7-figure business and have the freedom lifestyle. Freedom lifestyle doesn't mean you're just traveling the world. You can, but it also means that you can spend time with your family. You can go on camping trips. You can spend time in your garden. That is freedom, whatever it means to you. Thank you for listening. I love you so much. Please like, comment, share, and please tag your friends if you feel like there is a friend that might love this information, your biz bestie. Bye. Thank you.